Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Aquarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Aquarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And look at that glorious 9 of Cups. This is happiness. This is following your bliss. This is the pursuit of happiness. This is us living a happy life, a life that's full of meaning, a life that's full of pleasure and abundance, living the good life. This is superabundance. This is abundance on the physical, financial, mental, emotional, and spiritual creative planes. It's a card that says, that sort of like abundance multiplies itself. You know, good things in one area are permeating to make every other area good too. I feel happy in my physical life, in my health, right? Then I feel good in my relationships. I feel better in my creative works. Everything is everything. Everything is interconnected with a 9. It's a function. We start living that life of abundance, living that life of happiness and connection and meaning, right? The depth of purpose. Everything gets better, okay? I feel like you're somebody who really knows, you know what you want, and you know kind of how to be happy, you know? So let's put this card into a little bit of context. I feel like you're in a very optimistic mood right now. Not always that way. There was a time in your life where you were very pessimistic, or we didn't think we could be happy. I think we made a choice to kind of like, to start looking at life a little differently. Start focusing on the good things, yeah? And maybe that begins now. Let's see. Let's use our Dove and Serpent spread. Oh, 10 of coin. Come on now. It just gets better and better. Yeah, I think this is the moment it all begins. Your whole life's going to be changing very quickly. See, we have a 5 of Swords underneath. We have an Ace of Cups behind. We have the High Priestess. We have the 2 of Cups. Oh my gosh. This is good. We have a Princess of Cups. We have the Chariot. You have a 9 of Pentacles. And we've got the Fool. Oh yeah, the Fool is kind of like this infinitely connected energy. It kind of feels like we're a part of life. Yeah, kind of returning to a state of, let me put these over here. With the Fool, kind of returning to a state of innocence, returning to a very natural state. I think that we're learning how to enjoy life, even when there are things to be worried about, even when there is stress. This is stress. Okay, 5 of Swords, there's stress. But we got all this water energy, look at that. With the right attitude, and then guess what? You have a 9 of Pentacles and a 10 of Pentacles as well, right? So a good attitude here, this loving perception of life, this attitude of gratitude, this feeling of abundance, this feeling of love and connection, like having this type of mindset, you're able to handle the stress a lot easier than normal, I think, you know? And I think it means that your life is also progressing in a much better way. I think your emotional life and your physical life are going to experience a surge of growth. Okay, and the Fool might be like, we're ready to start new adventures. We're ready to go on a quest. It's like we're feeling the infinite possibilities now. To me, that feels really good. Let's select the mystery card, though. Bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right over here with Big Red Ant right on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card is, put your prediction in the comments down below. Now, as we look around the room, we see some good major arcana, don't we? We see the High Priestess, your Chariot, and your Fool energy. Don't have any fire. You've got water, water, water. Got a little bit of air. Oh, an extra water here. A lot of water. Right? And then we have, of course, our Earth cards. Okay? So I think that the little bit of air cards that we have here, the little bit of trying to make sense of things, a little bit of stress, I think is very good. We don't want too much. We want just enough. Just enough to give us something to do. I think the Five of Swords is really a good card here because it shows that there's not a complacency. There's not really a contentment in the sense of I'm not going to do anything with my life. I'm just going to kind of literally be a fool, just kind of floating around doing whatever happens, happens. I feel like the Five of Swords is saying that we like to be challenged. And maybe this is just a little bit of that mental energy that we need that says, I got to challenge myself. I got to find a puzzle. I think you're somebody that likes puzzles. I think you're somebody that does probably like some kind of brain training, like exercises on your phone or something, right? Because we're trying to keep our mind sharp. It's I want to have some kind of an intellectual challenge. Maybe this is about brain health, I want to do crossword puzzles. I want to do something novel. I want to find a challenge. I want something to figure out. I want to stimulate my brain by asking questions or learning about a subject that I don't know anything about, or trying to figure out a new way, trying to solve a problem or solve a puzzle. Okay? That's what I'm kind of feeling with this. It's a little bit of stress. It's good for us, promotes growth. Okay? Too much stress is very unhealthy. I think you're beginning a new, very healthy kind of mindset, especially with all this water energy. This is a lot of love. You got a lot of love in your reading today. But the second position card now is the Ten of Pentacles, okay? And the second position is sort of the quest, what's blocking us or what the obstacle is or what what spirit is sort of showing us as our big challenge. This is a card of wealth, okay? And it could be what are we going to use all this wealth for? I feel like there's some financial energy coming in your life. There's some kind of a return on an investment. There's some kind of a bonus, some kind of a windfall. Maybe you're winning the lottery. Maybe this is that big payday that you've been waiting for. I feel like there's something coming in. And Spirit's kind of asking us, what are we going to do with all this abundance? Okay? I think this card is also about what we value. Right? What is our best life? What is important to us? And here we got our pets, our plants, our people. So I think for you, living a happy life is a life not where you're just accumulating stuff, but where you're constantly in this interaction or this pursuit or this engagement with your ideal of your best life. See, the Ten of Pentacles is the picture of your best life. Get out a sheet of paper, get out a pencil, draw a picture of your best life. What would it look like? What would you draw, right? That's the life that you want to sort of interact with. Now, the Nine of Cups, it's a function. It means that we're in the process of building that dream life. I feel like it's really materializing in your future. In your present, really. I think that what you've been working toward with this kind of renewed attitude, this sense of purpose, I think everything is crystallizing. I think this is a dream come true. I think this is your dream life. I think it's beginning right now. Okay. Ten of Pentacles is that sort of ideal. It's a card of crystallization. Okay. And of course, We've been pursuing the path here with heart. We've been pursuing purpose and meaning and connection and abundance. I don't think that you've been a materialist. I don't think that you've just been greedy and you've just been, I just want the money. No. I think that you're living the life that you feel you're supposed to be leading. I think the fact that all this money's coming in and everything's coming together for you is a direct result of this good attitude that you have. Okay? And of course, your ability with that 5 of Swords to challenge yourself. You're not out here looking for problems, right? But you're trying to identify ways that you might want to grow a little bit. See, this is a Venus in Aquarius card, the 5 of Swords. It's really a very good card because it shows that we're intellectually curious, that we're not just sitting around sipping iced tea on the porch in a rocking chair, that we're trying to identify things in our life that we want to do. How can I challenge myself? How can I learn something new? How can I solve a problem? How can I challenge my brain? How can I stimulate growth here? We're looking for solutions to the problems that we don't even know yet. You know what I mean? We're always looking for how can I do this better? How can I grow? How can I challenge myself? Again, this is somebody that on a daily basis, you're trying to stimulate your mind. On a weekly, monthly, and yearly basis, you're trying to maybe learn a new language one day. Maybe next year it's going to be I'm going to learn some other kind of technical skill. I'm going to I'm doing math problems and crossword puzzles, right? I'm trying to meet new people. Maybe you're going to go do an open mic. Maybe you're going to do a writing project or something. You're always trying to keep your mind going and keep your mind stimulated, you know? And I think that this is where you find a lot of joy in that too. Yeah. In the background position, you've got that Ace of Cups. And this is heart. This is a happy heart. And I don't think you've always had a happy heart. I think that it's a choice to live life from a place of love and gratitude. Okay? And I really feel what's going on here in another sense is, because see, we see the High Priestess as the intuition, the sort of, spirit has been a guiding force in your life lately and is guiding you both intellectually and physically, but also guiding you this way in the love, in the heart, in the emotional energy. Because I don't think you were always a person with a happy heart. I think you'd been through a lot in your life. It was a choice to start living from this position of gratitude. And I think as you radiate out love and appreciation and compassion, the 2 of Cups says that you're attracting a lot of that love too. So we made a choice, I feel, to start living life from the heart. And now that love is coming back to you. You're magnetizing yourself. You are attracting, it's the law of attraction. You're attracting to yourself that love that you've been radiating out, the good vibes that you've been sending the universe, they're coming back to you. Okay? The same way I feel that your intellectual curiosity is leading to a lot of accomplishments, the accumulation and the crystallization, a lot of your goals, a lot of your aspirations. Okay, you're probably somebody that has a lot of awards, or you have a lot of certificates, or you have a lot of certificates of completion. It's oh, here I did scuba diving, or here it's kind of I passed level 1 Spanish. You have these kind of accomplishments that are adding to the richness and the depth of your life, because you're operating from this place of just love and joy and gratitude, and you're so engaging intellectually. I feel people love having a conversation with you. And I feel that you're always looking for ways that you can learn or stimulate yourself or make new memories, right? I feel lately you've been exploring memories a little bit more, yeah? Maybe you're dealing with some kind of maybe, I don't know, if someone in your family has had dementia or Alzheimer's that, because I kind of feel we don't want that to happen to us. So we're really engaging with our lives right now. We're trying to stay as youthful as we can, and I think a lot of good stuff's coming your way. Yeah. I feel it's all being guided by Spirit up top with our High Priestess. This represents the starlight coming into your life, your intuition, front and center. It's shining a light over your whole life right now. I feel like this is Spirit leading you toward your best life. Okay? And I think that with all the love energy, all the water that we see on the horizontal axis of the path of the dove, I think that you've accepted the hand of Spirit and you're letting yourself be guided to a really happy life. A real happy life. Okay? That is manifesting right before your eyes. In terms both of relationships and in terms of financial like income and financial stability, and I think even financial freedom. Okay. But I think the idea here is that it wasn't always like this. Yeah. Future position, 2 of Cups. This is love. Okay, this is love. And I think that this is you finding more and more love in your life. I think that you have this attitude of abundance and this attitude of gratitude, and you're attracting all of these very good things to you. And this is going to be, I think, maybe a Cancer person coming into your life. Could be a best friend, could be a family member, could be a romance, could be a soulmate, right? This is divine love, self-love, platonic love, and romantic love. That's the way forward for you. This is you attracting all of that love into your life. Okay. And this is, it's a lot of smooth sailing. This is a lot of like, if you look at the card, the water's like glass. It's a beautiful day out on the water. The water is smooth like glass. I think a lot of easy days are ahead of you. A lot of days of stress, and challenge and pushing ourselves and trying to think through problems and giving ourselves puzzles to figure out, of course. Because that's how we keep ourselves kind of like youthful, right? I think a lot of good days are coming your way. I think we're attracting more of the good stuff in life because I think you're learning how to let go of stress. You're understanding stress management. Okay. I think that your relationships are the key to stress management. I think your self-love, I think love is the key to stress management, right? The love of your relationships, your love of Spirit, your love of yourself, your friends, your family, and your romantic love, all of the love. It's kind of how you're dealing with stress. Stress, look at the diagonal path. Stress, going through love, equals letting go, freedom, enjoyment, novelty, dancing, having fun, being free, being innocent, being youthful, right? All that fool energy. I think I think you've learned how to deal with stress. And it feels really, really good. On the path of the serpent, we're going to talk about these cards. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, Aquarius, please do. The Princess of Cups is someone that has a lot of new feelings. You know, I feel that you are ready for more desire. You're ready to kind of like, I want something. I feel an urge. I feel a yearning for something. I have a hope, a dream, a wish, an aspiration. There's something, I have an itch that I want to scratch. And I'm out there in life and I'm going to figure out a way to make it happen. We're being sort of motivated by our desires here with this card. And I think you're somebody that it's kind of like the more I put out good energy, the more good energy comes back. And the more that good energy comes into my life, the more I want to get out there and engage with life. So I feel like you're someone who is really listening to their feelings. You're listening to the love, and it's like the more you love, the more love you have. Yeah. It's very Taoist in that way. The more you use, the more we accumulate. We can give and give and give and never be exhausted in love, This is somebody that's really feeling their feelings and letting their desires steer the ship a little bit. Not all the way, not completely, right? But in this sense, we sort of have the mind now listening to the heart and figuring out, okay, how can I get more of what I want? I'm in touch with life. I know what makes me happy. And I want to keep crystallizing my dream. This is the dream that's come true. the physical scaffolding that is the container, really, for all this love and happiness. If this water wasn't there, this would just be empty gold. This would be an empty vessel. We'd have all these accomplishments in life, but they wouldn't mean anything. No, you have a path of meaning. The things that you're accomplishing, they mean something to you. And so we're trying to find out, okay, well, today's a new day. What does my heart want today? You know, and we're getting out there and we're doing that. And we're finding a way to solve that problem. And that's the dynamic between these cards right here. The heart says, hey, I'm hungry. I want some ice cream. And the mind says, okay, how can I get ice cream? But of course, this isn't ice cream, right? This isn't just gratification for its own sake. This is something deeper than that. This is a real satisfaction of life. Our real dreams, right? Because the Princess of Cups, yeah, it could just be I'm living on the surface, chasing pleasure, running from pain, yeah. But this is also those deeper yearnings and aspirations that you know what your soul wants. And you are sort of engaged with life in such a way where we're following that love. We're falling in love, I think, like every moment. We're in love with life. Yeah. And maybe this is a card that's kind of saying, like, I kind of feel like I need to change. You know, that maybe this is, I like novelty. I like doing new things. I like challenging myself with a new adventure. Maybe we're going to change jobs. Maybe this is like, I want to go travel to a new place. I want to go meet some new people and try some new things. I want to have something different for dinner tonight. Yeah. And of course, we're not letting that energy drive the car completely, but we are really listening to it. Okay. And I think that's important because your heart wants what it wants sometimes, you know. In the environment, we have our Chariot. And I really feel like in this case, this is you out there in the world, in service to something higher than just ego gratification. See, none of this is ego. And it's interesting that we don't have any fire here, but we do have a lot of ambition. We have a lot of heart. We have a lot of movement, a lot of love, a lot of activity, but we don't have the fire energy. You know, I kind of feel like that's almost like we're just kind of like we're yielding, we're flowing like water. We're not in ego, we're in intuition, we're in emotion, we're in spiritual connection. And I think that's what you've done. That's the change. That's what I say, like it begins now. Because I feel like we made that switch from like ego motivation to surrendering to the divine and just letting the world take us, letting spirit take us where we need to go, and embracing that and having this very positive attitude and seeing all the benefits from that. Now, once the ego gets out of the way, all the good stuff starts rolling in. Yeah. And the Chariot then is, I think, someone who is in service to something higher. And we're a vehicle of our destiny right now. I think this is also your perception of other people, because, see, this card is in the position of your environment, your relationships, and the way you might be looking at the world. And as you're looking at the world, you're seeing other people that might be in service to ego. You're looking at other people and thinking, other people just seem to be like just trying to hold it together. That other people are living a life where it's just like trying to prevent something from falling apart. And that's sometimes the Chariot. Sometimes there's this Noah's Ark type of energy. It's like, I'm just trying to preserve what I have so it doesn't all devolve into chaos. And it's like, I don't want to live that way. So it could be that you're not understanding the ways of the world, really, in the sense that like we're looking around at the way other people live and we're thinking, God, that doesn't make sense to me. And it could be that we don't want to live that way. I don't want to live a life where all I can really hope to do is just hold something together so it doesn't fall apart. I think that's no way to live, you know. So I think that you gave up on something in a way. You kind of released your ego ambition, and we surrendered to the High Priestess. We surrendered to Spirit, and I think that we're sort of following wherever the contours of life take us, because we're that flowing water right now. Okay, The Nine of Pentacles is in the position of your obstacle, your fear, worry, and concern. I think that your biggest fear is that you're going to live a successful life, but it's not going to feel like anything. So we might be looking at the rest of the world and thinking everybody's just chasing material goals. Everybody else just wants money and fame and fortune and recognition, and like, maybe I want that too, but I don't want it to be empty shells. I want my life to be full of meaning. I don't want to be out there pursuing the same goals as everybody else. I don't want to live the same life as everybody else. That's just a material existence. Because we know that the material things fade, they turn to dust, right? We're trying to do something that means something more. Maybe what you're really trying to do is create something that's going to live longer than you, something that will be a legacy or will outlast you. Maybe we're trying to create relationships and memories. Maybe we're trying to kind of like tap into that spiritual energy so that we are solidifying our soul a little bit. Yeah. We're looking past the material world and we're trying to find what's deeper. I think we're connecting with our Fool energy. We're connecting with our pure spirit. The limitless possibilities. Perhaps this is also, I feel like you do some kind of astral traveling or some kind of out-of-body experience, yeah? Or you're able to leave your body. What is that? I'm feeling something like you're able to transcend the material plane. Maybe it's through love. Maybe it's through meditation or through kind of an active imagination. Maybe it's through surrendering. I feel like there's some kind of an out-of-body thing with you, yeah? Anyway. The Fool at the end is complete freedom. The Fool here, I think, is a release from all of the sort of normal worries of life. You're still going to live a life that's got problems. You're still going to have stress. But this is like we've transcended that. We've tapped into something that makes all the trials and tribulations of life just seem like weather. Like you're identifying with the sky, not with the clouds. Yeah. You keep a dream journal, don't you? The Fool is ready for new adventures. The Fool is open to possibilities. The Fool never turns anything down. The Fool never says no, right? The Fool is kind of floating on air. It's almost the feather in the wind. He's saying wherever spirit is going to blow my life, that's where I'm going. And I'm okay with that. I've surrendered to that. And I know that if I align myself with that spiritual energy, I'm never going to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, you know. Do you do a lot of volunteer work? I feel like you're volunteering more. We're kind of in this giving type of energy, this expression of love. Yeah. And you have a lot of house plants too, I think. Yeah. Let's look at the mystery card. I really love this energy. I think you have, this is a really nice flow. Like I don't feel any kind of tension. I don't feel any kind of complexity. I feel that there's simplicity. I feel like it's a simple partnership between our pure spirit and the divine energy. I think a lot of physical, financial success is coming your way. I think a lot of love is coming your way. I feel that you're sort of gaining in some sort of freedom here. It's a financial freedom. It's an emotional freedom. It's a release from all the stress of life, even if we're still, dealing with all of the stress of life. It's there's been a transcendence. Okay, maybe it's a spiritual awakening. Let's look at the mystery card. Probably get some fire. Might get a little more air. I don't know what this is going to be. Maybe the star. Maybe the universe, the world. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's see what we have. King of Pentacles. A fixed earth energy. This might be that card of meditation. This might be that card of somebody who's living their physical existence, but the Fool is the spirit leaving the body, right? The Fool is that pure essence that is transcending this. So this is like the builder. This is the one who's right in the middle of life, doing the work, right? But your soul, your spirit is somewhere else. that we're existing on a higher plane. Our consciousness has risen to this pure place of bliss, even while our physical body is down here doing the work. So I wonder if this is maybe a prediction of a spiritual awakening, a type of ascension, or a mystical experience. Okay? There is some sort of a transcendence that is beginning now, that I think we're existing in a more permanent or a semi-permanent state of bliss, even while we're here in life doing life stuff. You know, we're here, we're going to work, we're dealing with bills, we're talking on the phone, we're driving through traffic, but there's some place, there's some part of you that is in like nirvana. Okay, that is experiencing that type of mystical union. And that's, of course, these two up here, you know. So I don't know if you've started to experience something like this, if this is something that you're already familiar with, or if this is something we can look forward to. But I feel like your goals in life will be changing. You still are going to have to eat food and drink water and earn money and stuff. But I feel like the things that mean something to you are sort of changing. I feel like there's a return to like an innocence, or even like a more childlike state. Yeah. Let me know in the comments what you think of that. This is really feel a peacefulness in you right now. But we're going to do an extended reading too. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Aquarius on Tuesdays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you are watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we are all in this together.